Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 6. I cannot believe we are saying episode 6 right now of the Ballroom Breakdown with Dana and Megan. We are recapping everything from Dancing with the Stars week 6. It was Wicked night. It did not disappoint, that's for sure. We are clearly getting into the spirit right now. We have the little Wicked pigeons. We're in our pink and our green. Cute. All of our producers are in their pink and green as well. So we have been eagerly awaiting this night, and it was a fun one.
Yeah, we love Wicked around here.
Yes.
Since it came out, we love talking about Wicked. But this was a great night to be able to rehash all of our favorite songs and moments in the movie. Obviously in the musical too, because that's how a lot of people obviously know Wicked. But yes, this was such a fun night. It was really unique to see everybody dancing to songs that were very similar to one another in terms of like it's all from obviously the same movie, whereas other previous weeks we've seen, you know, people dancing to all different kinds of songs. So there was a little bit of variety last night, but it was so much fun. Maybe not so much for the people that don't know Wicked, but for those of us who love it, it was great.
Right, big Wicked fans over here. So we knew none of the songs were going to disappoint because we already knew that. It was awesome because John Chu, who is the director of Wicked, of course, he was a guest judge. Him saying Dancing with the Stars is his favorite show was kind of iconic.
Yes, he said my favorite movie, my favorite show, all in one night.
I mean, he was an amazing guest judge to have there. Like,
he was great.
What a big name, and how cool to have that night and to be able to preview kind of the upcoming Wicked for Good movie that's coming out soon.
And there were cameos from all of the actors in the movie: Jonathan Bailey, Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande. Like they all made cameos.
Yes.
Michelle Yeoh, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was just it was so fun to see them. Obviously, in not in costume, just in their regular selves. But yes, it was a great night. Some unexpected moments.
Very unexpected
that
moments.
we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we'll get into it. I'm not very happy about it. And I feel like we're really starting to form our opinions.
Yeah.
Strong opinions too.
Yeah, but we have more reason to have these opinions because we've seen enough. We're officially now past the halfway point in the season, 6 weeks in. So I feel like we kind of know what to expect from certain celebrities, what not to expect from certain celebrities, and therefore we can critique them a little bit more fairly because we know either what they're capable of or what we don't think that they're capable of. So it's just we're able to kind of more clearly say how we feel about all their dances.
Yeah, no more first impressions. It's the real deal and what you guys have been going off of.
Right.
So let's start by jumping into some of the dances. We can start with our first dance of the night, which I believe was Scott and Riley. So spoiler alert, Scott ended up going home. I think that for the first dance of the night, I didn't like that this was the first dance of the night. I know Meghan and I agreed, we were texting last night, that something about this dance just felt off. It felt messy. I mean, you can see this lift right here. I don't think that was executed very well.
No.
However, I still think his performance, especially in this part, I think he has an amazing performance. I think he really put it all together when they were in that side-by-side, but there were moments that unfortunately just kind of lost me. I feel like he was trying to keep up with Riley the whole time. I thought it was just an odd dance. I can see why he went home after that dance. However, he should not have gone home.
Yeah,
I have been the biggest Scott fan this entire season, and I was so upset to see him go home.
Me too.
Andy should have gone home. We've been saying it for weeks now. So the fact that Scott went home before Andy, I think Scott deserved at least one more week.
I'm with you on that.
I didn't see him going home because of that dance because he has done so much throughout the entire season already. So I think he brought the energy. I think he brought the performance and the spunk, but I do see where he's probably not the strongest. I think he's falling back in the pack, or I guess he is the back of the pack now, but he was falling back in the pack a little bit. So it goes to show that I guess just didn't have the fan votes like Andy did. So I was sad to see him go. Dance was but I'm surprised they started the night with that dance too.
Agreed. And I mean, I think that's a part of why that dance felt so off because we had nothing else to compare it to. From the get-go, the dance was off. I think it looked like he was half in it. It just was messy. I almost, when I was watching that, kind of felt like maybe he forgot the choreography a little bit or was not really fully able to be in it with the dance because he was just thinking about, okay, what's my next move? What's my next move? What's the next lift? And especially after seeing him get eliminated, I went on social media, I looked on Twitter and even TikTok to see kind of what people were saying because we know that there are a lot of people watching Dancing with the Stars this season. There are a lot of opinions out there, more than ever. So I wanted to see what people were saying. And I saw a lot about, and I agree with this, the lifts were not good. Like you said, they were just kind of messy. The transitions were messy too. In general, that dance was just lacking in pretty much every segment of it. Missed some of the passes. I think one of the judges said that he was just kind of off with some of those passes. I also feel like there was not really any focus on Scott in that dance. I think that it was very Riley dominant, and I saw a lot of comments about Riley outdancing him, which
100%.
is hard when you're the pro, and you're just better oftentimes than your celebrity, so that you're with. But I saw a lot of people saying, well, Riley should have toned it down a little bit because clearly he's just not as strong of a dancer. But I think the biggest thing is just that people did not see a lot of improvement from Scott from like week 1 to now. He had issues with his frame and kind of being, I guess, fluid and graceful with his body. He's just got like long limbs, and he's just kind of, I don't know. I just feel like they were just very disconnected. And I know we both love Riley. I do too.
Big fans.
I love Scott as a person. I just don't think that he really had a lot of improvement on the show. And I think that's why he went home.
Yeah, I agree. I think he went home at the right time. I just think, though, compared to
the principle of it,
other people on the show, I think he was better than some of the others on the show. So that's why I think I'm so disappointed in the elimination. Yeah. But I mean, we are clearly, seeing the power of the fan vote on this season because Andy has been propelled so far. And I just think it's so shocking to see him go home before people like Andy and Danielle, respectfully. Yeah. They're both amazing people and, performers, but I just think Scott had a little bit more left in him. I agree. But I just also think the dance was weirdly choreographed. I think that's why it felt off, because it was going from like trying to be beautiful, elegant lifts to like this whole like hip hoppy almost like the whole jazz hands being like the wizard. It was just weird vibes all around. It was,
and it's always tough to be the first couple of the night to dance because there's such high expectations, and you kind of set the bar for what the rest of the night is going to be, and it just set the bar so low.
It did.
He got all 7s. I thought that I honestly might have even given that dance a 6. It was just not good.
Really?
It just was not good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm indifferent.
I also just am being a little critical. And I think I'm just comparing him to other couples that are just a lot stronger. But I did love their friendship in their partnership. I just feel like because of her ability being so strong and his ability not being so strong, that they weren't very connected in terms of their partnership. But
sad to see him go.
Yeah, I'm really sad to see him go too. I wish we could have gotten maybe one more week out of him.
Totally.
Let's move on to our next couple of the night. We've got Alex and Val. They danced a jazz to What Is This Feeling? One of the, I'd say one of the most common songs in terms of what we saw on social media. Like, I saw this song all over TikTok. So I think that Alex played the role of Glinda so well. This dance had so many theatrical elements of it, and they really kind of emulated, I feel like, the movie, but also the musical as well. There were just a lot of different, I felt like they were acting a lot. Now that double pirouette right there was amazing. We have said every single week, Alex has proven that she is a dancer. And I think that this week she also showed that she can act a little bit. She can perform. She kind of combined those performance elements with the dancing as well. I wanted them to move down the stairs. I did not like that they stayed up there the whole time. I don't like when couples stay up on that top part of the stage the entire time. It just feels like they could be doing so much more. So I did not like that. I wanted to see more dancing and less posing. There was not enough dance content in that dance for me personally, but I also think that they were trying to emulate, the movie and the musical and this song and like what the scene is. I mean, it's really the movie, right? So I get what they were trying to do, and I think she really nailed the mannerisms of Glinda. She looked like she was having so much fun too, and I think they packed a lot into the dance. I just wanted to see more dancing, and I know it was a jazz, so you have a little bit more creative liberty with that. It was a little too much like facials and acting than dancing.
I agree with you. I thought the exact same thing. I think it was more focused on telling the story and acting the story and playing the role versus the dance. I wrote down the exact same thing. I don't like how they stayed up in that one area. I really would have loved to see them use the entire floor. And I feel like they had a great opportunity to do that with a song, especially with the popular, the book walk.
Right.
The book,
yes, they could have walked down the stairs.
Marched down the stairs and like owned that moment. And I think we missed that from her. I think it was an amazing dance. We can't ignore that. She was absolutely beautiful. That pirouette, jaw-dropping, stunning. Like, not many people can do a pirouette like that. Yeah. And you're right. She just played the role very well and acted very well. But we lost the point of it being a dance.
Right.
I think I don't see the dancing aspect. I saw a few moves, but I mean, I think it was because they were so contained to that one small area on the stage. I wish they would have strutted down the walkway, I guess, if you will. And I think we were talking this morning that it put it very well that we think it was a great dance. It was a fun dance to watch, but it was forgettable. You know, after seeing the rest of the night, like that dance, I kind of forgot about. And with the song choice that they had, and with it being jazz having so much more freedom, I think they could have had such an amazing opportunity to make that almost like a freestyle. And just having that wow moment. And like, not that Alex hasn't had her wow moments yet. But I think she needs to continue building on those wow moments because she's had so many of them.
Well, like you're saying, her Maleficent dance was her wow moment, her Disney dance. And since then, I think people have had such high expectations for her. And no, I don't think like even her TikTok night dance was great, but I think that dance was, I think, her best of the season. And so since that dance, you know, I just don't think that she has met that standard. Again, I think you get what I'm trying to say.
Kind of plateaued.
Yeah, a little bit. And so I want to see more of that from her because, I mean, her dance last week for dedication night was great too, but same thing, her Maleficent night or her Maleficent dance was just so incredible that I think that since then it's just felt a little lackluster. But I also know that Val is going to continue to challenge her, and when they get back to kind of more of a theme night that isn't so, you know, isn't leaning on the acting and the theater of it, then I think that they will be better.
Yeah, I think it was different because I think like we'll obviously get to more dances, but I feel like with like Whitney and Mark, they leaned into the dancing, whereas Val leaned into the acting and the storytelling. So I think it's just, you know, nonetheless, great dance, but I think it was easy to forget just because it was contained and not as much of a wow moment.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of fun nonetheless. I actually wrote at this moment, I'm like, I feel like there's not going to be a terrible dance all night because the songs are so iconic. So I loved that song, and I think they executed it fine and well, and it was fun. But, you know, definitely not a top 3 for us. Okay, so as we move on to the next dance, we had Robert and Whitney. He also had probably my favorite song of the night that I was so excited for, Dancing Through Life. This song was perfect for him. He encapsulates just like dancing through life. He was so happy. I think it was the perfect persona for him to be. I thought it was really cute. I really liked how they used the books as like a prop. I think that was the risk Whitney was trying to take, was really leaning into the books and keeping it a little bit more simple. I loved their move like down the ballroom that we just saw of them, like that one, you know, knee up move. Whitney loves that move, by the way. She does that all the time. So I love the dance. My favorite part was the second part of the dance when they did get to that side by side and that whole movement. But I do love how they incorporated the books. I think Whitney actually balanced that dance of dancing and storytelling very well. And I think Robert executed it very well.
He did.
I loved his personality shining through. You could tell he was just having fun. And I know a couple weeks ago we were saying we felt like we needed more wow moments from him. We felt like he wasn't doing much. And then last week, dedication night, I feel like he really had that breakthrough of just, you know, showing us that he is a dancer and he is there and has that passion. And I think he's building on that from last week. Obviously didn't stand out as much as last week, but I still think I would put it as one of my favorite dances of the night because he was just having fun with it and he told a story and I feel like it was the perfect dance for him. I'm happy he got Dancing Through Life. I don't think anybody else could have done that dance.
No, agreed. And he had so many little tricks in there that were so fun. That body roll that he did in the beginning.
Yes, with the wink.
Yep. He knows he's cute and he knows it. The backflip down the stairs that they did with the troupe was also awesome. He's back to looking like a dancer because his dance last week was amazing, but we kind of had that critique I think 2 weeks ago where he just wasn't looking as strong in his dances, and I think that he is kind of back to being that leading man. He looks like a pro out there. He's kind of standing his own next to Whitney. It was a very ambitious and challenging dance, like you said. It had a lot of risks involved, and they paid off in the end. I think that also I have to give credit to Whitney because she listened to some of the feedback that she got about not challenging him enough, and also not showcasing him enough. And I think he was showcased very well in that dance. So I loved that. And I also loved all the little theater elements too. So let's talk about scores though, which we didn't talk about scores with Alex. Alex got 1-8, which I completely disagreed with. I thought she should have gotten all 9s. This dance got all 9s. Where was the 10?
Where was the 10?
Yeah.
I wrote in my notes, why are they being stingy with the 10s this season? He should have gotten a 10 on that dance. I think that deserved the first 10 of the season because it was so creative and so difficult.
Agreed.
And he executed it perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, that I would say that was almost a perfect dance.
Yeah.
I don't know what, I don't get it.
Agreed. I don't know what they would have needed to give that a 10, given that some other dances of the night got 10s, which we'll get to.
Right.
But Whitney talked about how in the intro talked about, you know, them being on the top of the leaderboard to start the season and they need to get back there. And I feel like they, you know, they should be leading in those scores, and they're up there on the leaderboard, of course. They're in the top 3, but I just feel like that should have gotten the first 10 of the season.
100%. He
Yeah.
deserved that 10. So he got robbed without the 10.
Yeah, I agree. But I know it's coming for them. I think that the judges are just holding them to a higher standard. Yes, it's coming. I know it is. He just, and maybe that will give him more motivation too, to just keep working hard to be able to get that 10. He knows that he needs to keep performing well every single week. Otherwise, there are other strong couples. And if he really wants to win that mirror ball, he has to keep proving himself every single week. So 100%. I know it will just motivate him to work harder.
100%.
Okay, let's move on to our next dance. Speaking of 10s, Whitney and Mark dancing to arguably one of the most well-known, if not one of the most well-known song in this entire, in Wicked, in the movie, in the musical, Popular. Although it was clearly, as you can tell, changed around if you know this song to fit more of that quick step vibe, which is the dance that they, or the style that they dance to. I love the unique version of the song, but I did... Well, I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
In terms of the dance itself, I think that the way that she animated and owned the floor is amazing. I have to give it to Mark. His choreography never disappoints.
Never.
There was so much dance content involved in that quick step, and it was a true quick step, moving across the floor. Her footwork was impeccable. She killed it. I mean, she truly did. She's expressive, and Whitney really shined because she has to have some kind of theater background, and maybe she even does, because she's always got the facials. She performs. She is a dancer and she's a performer, and you could see that. That was very evident in that dance with all of her facial expressions. Like, she really leaned into it. And I think what really sets Whitney apart too is that she's very confident. And, except for last week where she was kind of off with the music, she doesn't look like she just knows the dance. She like owns every single dance, and she looks like a pro out there. You can tell that she's just very confident, and it shows in all of her dances. So,
you could tell she was hungry for this one. After last week, I think that she, you know, obviously didn't have the best dance of the night last week, which was unlike her.
Right.
And, you know, the off and the side by side really showed some weaknesses, and you could tell that she really wanted to overcome that and really show up and show out. I think she had also one of the best songs of the night. I'd put her and Roberts as my 2 top songs of the night.
Yeah.
And I think it was executed very well. I love that they, you know, still did the traditional quick step and still did that ballroom dance, incorporated that, you know, more of the dancing, whereas like with Val and Alex, we saw a lot more of the acting.
Right.
So I appreciated all the dancing, but a lot of controversy online over this and over Mark being able to change the music like this, which I feel bad because he has gone on social media and been like, people think that, you know, I can dictate the producers, but he can't. Who knows what's true and what's not true?
It's so hard to know.
But there have been times where people have had to adjust their style dances and adjust their choreography because of the song choice that they are given. And that's just, you know, the nature of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas Mark has always been able to readjust his music. So I think they had a little bit of an advantage being able to do that. I don't know. I feel like they are such a strong couple, and I feel like they're kind of starting to get a little bit of hate and backlash.
They are.
Just because Whitney has so much experience. And like, it's just clearly coming to a point where it's not very fair anymore, because Mark is so talented, Whitney's so talented. Whitney had the previous experience. I feel like she's been dancing like she's dancing this episode since the week 1 episode.
Totally.
I feel like she just was strong from the get-go.
She's just always been good.
And maybe you can clean up a few things here and there, but I mean, we've always been so impressed and so wowed by her dances. So it's so tough. I still think that they could win this season. But it's one of those things, like, I almost don't want them to, because it's so unfair, and it's not really like the nature and the heart of the show.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, though, saying that they won't vote for Whitney, and there does seem to be people who definitely have it out for her in a sense.
And I feel bad because she is good.
She is good. And sometimes, especially when there are dancers on the show that do have that dance experience, I feel like Chandler got this a little bit last season. People tend to be very overly critical of them, but I have to agree. Clearly, she's the judge's favorite.
Carrie Ann's favorite.
So clearly the judges say, I think that she gets favoritism from all the judges, honestly.
True.
But especially Carrie Ann. And I've seen some rumors about production and Mark kind of having special privileges with production and getting that tempo change and basically being able to change that song. Because if you listen to that, as the dance was going along, I was thinking to myself, this is not the song.
Right.
This is not the song. And everybody else, I feel like, danced to the song as it was originally, sang.
Yeah.
So I didn't love that part of it, but did I like the dance and did I like what they did with it? Yes, I just did not think that was fair.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It was a fun dance. Not fair. Judges bias. I mean, I think I look at that dance very similar to Robert's dance. I think if we're gonna, talk about tens, I mean, she had 3 10s, right? Yeah.
Yep.
3 10s and 1 9.
It was almost a
shout out
perfect
Derek
score.
for giving her that 9 because
Yes.
I gotta say I don't think that was a perfect routine by any means. I could have expected a Carrie Ann 10, but a Bruno 10 and a John 10. I was like, what is going on?
Again, the favoritism
after
from the
all
judges.
9s.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like. I liked the dance. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Great dance. I was sat. I'll watch it over and over again.
Of course. Yes.
But I just don't like the favoritism we're seeing.
Yes. And again, it just needs to be fair, right? If she's going to get 3 10s for her dance, then why did Robert not get 3 10s for his?
Exactly.
They're very comparable.
Exactly.
So yeah, I want to see I honestly hope the judges go on social media and see some of this and maybe rethink some of their opinions as they're judging every single Tuesday because the favoritism is showing.
It is. It is. So we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes with all these scores. All right. But moving on, next we have Dylan and Danielle. They had Rumba. I already knew I wasn't going to be a fan of the Dylan Rumba, if I'm being honest. So, I mean, Daniela is just, Daniela. She's just, I get her and Danielle confused. She's just so beautiful and phenomenal. And last week we really liked Dylan. But I'm just going back to only watching Daniela. I can't avoid her. She's so phenomenal. And okay, Dylan did have the classic rumba hips. He did move and flow very well and he executed it fine. I just have gone back to watching Daniela and not him. And I still just do not get the hype around him. Looking at my notes, I said, I guess it was good, but I'm kind of back to having the ick. If I'm being totally honest, maybe that's just me. He flowed well. We said it. He flows well. But, I mean, I just don't see any more than him moving his hips. I just watched Daniela. I don't think he leads a dance like a guy does.
Right.
And they got all 8s, which was kind of shocked about because they got all 9s last week and going down to all 8s. I didn't think it was that drastic.
But I think they're seeing it for what it is and they're looking at him.
Yeah. Yes. And right now we're looking at just Daniela.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And there was more dance content from him, I think, in last week's dance versus this week. So, looking at my notes too, I wrote, there was nothing that wowed me. And I wrote a question. I said, is he good or is he just attractive and paired with an incredible dancer?
Good.
That's the question.
And can move his hips.
Yeah, and can move his hips. Right. And there was a comment from Derek that I just completely agreed with. And he said, Daniela is that girl. She absolutely is. She's been that girl. She is that girl. He said that dancing with her is like dancing with a Ferrari.
Literally.
And I think that he's being overshadowed by her power. She can't help it. But I think that their dances look good week after week because of her.
100%.
People are looking at her. And
she's the best female pro on the show.
100,
by
yes,
far.
I agree. Solid hip action. He showed some grace. I loved some of his movements. There's just nothing that wowed me. And I think that all the people who were just so over the moon about those two, I disagree. I have to disagree because I don't think he does anything that stands out to me. And I do not think that he is I don't think he's a contender for the mirror ball at all.
No. Oh my God. If he goes to the finale, I'm going to be up in arms about it. I don't think he is a contender at all. I think he should go home in a few weeks.
Yep.
But I also will say, I think anybody on Wicked Night with a slower song was at a bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah.
But that's just solely for the reason of recognition of the songs. Right. I mean, I know I was so much more into
I didn't really get the song choice,
life.
Honestly. I'm not that girl for a man. I don't really get it. I get what they were trying to convey with it, but
we're back to not being fans. Sorry, Dylan.
Yeah.
Your sister was cute last week.
Try again next week.
But maybe next week, but probably not.
Sorry.
I knew the minute he got Rumba, I was going to go back to not liking him. I'm sorry. It's just not for me.
Yep.
It's not for me.
It's not for me either. And that's okay because we are entitled to our opinions.
Yeah. Let us live.
Yeah. All right. We'll stop dogging on Dylan.
Yeah. Let's talk next week about it.
Let's move on to another couple that we're pretty critical of, Andy and Emma. A Jazz to One Short Day. They really put out all the stops for this dance. Production did. They had great costumes. They had all these fun elements from the troupe. He talked about how in his intro how performance is his strength, and I agree. He's a good performer. We know he's not a good dancer. Love seeing his joy, and the little kick line at the end was really cute too. I'm sure we'll show it here in a minute. The only other note that I had is just it's time to go home. He did not go home. It's been his time to go home. He has been at the bottom of the leaderboard, every single week.
Yeah. And
that is how we know that it is his time to go home. He is the worst dancer out of the rest of the group that remains. He has been the worst dancer. And I'm sorry, I'm being blunt, but I'm so tired of the pity votes for Andy because his whole thing this season is everybody loves him because he's having so much fun. And the judges are always talking about he's improving week after week. And I think he maybe improved from weeks 3 to 4, but since then I feel like we're just seeing the same thing. It's mostly Emma moving. He's not really doing a whole lot. And I love to see that he's having fun, but I feel like even he wants to go home.
And here's the thing. Everybody's having fun. Scott was having fun.
Yeah.
Lauren was having fun.
Yeah, but
Baron was having
Andy's having
fun.
so much fun. I'm like, yeah, everybody's having a great time.
Everybody's having fun, and I'm over it.
Yes,
let's get Andy out of there. I'm sorry, Andy. You're
and
so
he knows
cute.
he should have gone home. He knows he should have gone home when Lauren went home.
Yep.
He knows he should have gone. Honestly, since what? When did she go home? Week 2, 3?
Yeah, it's been time for a few weeks now.
I think she went home week 3.
Yes.
Yeah, he should not be here anymore.
No.
Love you, Andy. You did a great job on the season, but you're done.
You're done. Next week, if you're not gone, then
Pack
we have
your
some
bags.
serious issues, and I need an investigation into people that are voting for Andy.
Honestly,
I feel like everybody
I'm
else
gonna start calling it rigged.
Everybody else is hopping on the train. Let's get Andy out of here
Yeah.
too. I feel like what I've seen on social media. Also, we talk about production bias towards Mark. How about production bias towards Andy?
Totally.
Did you see the set he had and the resources he had? I said he had the best costume of all the guys.
Honestly,
you
he
put him
did.
in a green sparkly suit. No wonder he's gonna get votes.
Exactly.
Because what the heck? And he had the most backup dancers, biggest troupe. He had arguably one of the most happy-go-lucky, love him songs. Of course people are gonna love him dancing.
Yeah, they're gonna eat that up. Yeah,
I'm so frustrated with it. That was a waste of a song because I think Lauren and Brandon would have crushed that song even more. I think Baron and Britt would have crushed that song. Heck, Hilaria and Gleb. Actually, no, she's fine going out. I'm fine without her.
No Hilaria.
No Hilaria. But I just don't like the opportunities that he's taking away from other people.
Same.
It's making me mad. I'm sorry, Andy.
Yeah,
you were
I'm
cute
sorry.
and fun, and the dance was actually really cute if we were in week 1 or 2.
Yes.
Week 6, that is not acceptable.
Yep. Time to go. Sorry.
Bye-bye. Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Anyway, let's move on to the biggest news of the night.
Woo!
Elaine and Alan, Defying Gravity, another iconic song. And I think a lot of people were curious to see how Elaine was going to overcome last week's dance. Let me tell you, show-stopping. This was her breakthrough moment, in my opinion. That trust fall right there, I think everybody's jaws dropped on the floor. Her lifts were absolutely beautiful. Her performance of being Alphaba was just iconic. She leaned into it, and look at this moment. I mean, how can you not just be obsessed with her in this moment? She leaned into the character. She leaned into the dance. She left everything out on the floor, and I feel like she executed so well. The choreography from Alan was phenomenal. Look at her up on that perch with the green light. I mean, that was what Wicked Night was meant to be.
I had tears in my eyes.
Seriously, I would go as far as saying that was one of the best dances of the night. And to see her overcome pain, overcome low scores last week, she was determined, and it showed on the dance floor. I love Elaine. I've been an Elaine fan this entire time, but I think this time I actually have her dance to back it up.
Yeah.
So I think she crushed it. Let me look. What did I say in my notes? Love the trust drop. This is amazing. I'm speechless. She's iconic. You could tell her and Alan both put their heart and soul into this dance.
Yeah.
And I think that's Dancing with the Stars right there.
And in her intro, she talked about how she had something she got hit by a car.
Did you think that was kind of funny?
Kind of
She was
jarring,
like, I'm in pain. And Alan's like, well, yeah, you got hit by a
car.
car.
I was like, what? within the last week. Okay. What happened? Yeah, that must have happened a while ago.
Yeah.
But she has some kind of plate in her foot and it limits her movements. And I think that she's also just, her body is really feeling all this dancing and just the rigor of training for these dances every single week. So she talked about how she's injured, but that she got a standing ovation at the end. So deserved. That trust fall, like you said, just incredible. I loved how much dance content there was in it. I've seen some people saying that they didn't really dance very much in the second half. I completely agree. I think they just had that little moment where she ran off screen and it was just Alan because they were getting her into the alphabet flying away.
Yeah, defying gravity.
Defying gravity, get up, yep. So I thought that the dance was incredible. She just looked so graceful. Her legs, the lifts, like you said, everything. And I feel like I saw so much confidence from her. She didn't look like she was just kind of going through the motions. She was really into that dance. She was really playing that part, and that's what I love. She was confident. She was fearless. The judges talked about how she clearly trusted Alan. You could see their connection, and she really pushed past her own limitations, which I thought was super inspiring. So I loved it. It got all 9s. Again, where was the 10?
If we're giving Whitney a 10, that should have been a 10 too.
That deserved a 10.
Crazy.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yep.
And I know that, Whitney's been one of the top contenders week after week, whereas obviously Elaine's been more like middle of the pack, but that deserved a 10. I will stand by that. I don't understand why it didn't get a 10, but
100% agree with you. Crazy. I mean, she's moving up there in the rankings for me. I still think that, I don't know if we'll see her in the finale.
No.
But she's absolutely moving up in the rankings for me.
Top 5.
Top 5 for sure. And I would be thrilled to see her in the top 5.
Me too.
So I love Elaine. I'm proud of her for that dance.
And she had people were expecting a lot out of her with what they were going to do with that song. It's obviously just a huge moment in the movie. It's an iconic moment.
I will say, when I saw that she got that song, I was a little bit shocked because it is a big song to live up to. So hey, left me speechless.
Congrats to them. And I love Alan too.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, they were great.
Yep.
Love them. Okay, let's move on to Jen and Jan. They did a foxtrot to As Long As You're Mine. This was a bit of a different look for Jen. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say about her, honestly. I wrote boring but beautiful, and I write that because she talked about how she wanted harder choreography in her intro package. I don't think that she got it in this dance at all. I think this dance was still boring. There's nothing that's wowing me. She's so sweet, and I think she is a beautiful dancer in so many ways, but I don't think it's about the difficulty of the choreography. I think it's about selling. It's about power and confidence. And it's something that both her and Danielle, I feel, struggle with, is not just looking like they're going through the motions, but really conveying that you are 100% into these dances. And I just don't see that from her. We've talked about it. Everybody agrees. Jan is her biggest limitation. It's his first time as a pro. I don't really think he knows what he's doing. I think he's just trying his best every single week, and it's not really doing much.
I also think week after week we've said it's pretty, but it's not doing anything for me.
Yeah,
I think that just goes to show.
It's not memorable.
It's not memorable. It doesn't have a wow factor. And like we said it every week. I think Jan's a big part of that.
Yeah.
But again, beautiful dance for her, and I think she's giving it her all. I don't think it's a fault to her. I think it's just something about them. It's not working, and I'll be honest, I had a lot of high hopes for her going into the season. I'm ready for her to go home too.
Me too.
I think that she is not giving the wow factor. It's not bringing what we expected to the table. And I hate that for her. I want to root for her and I want to be happy for her, but it's just, she's not doing it for me. I'm bored and I'm over it. And and I think she's over it too.
Yeah.
I just don't think she's having fun with it anymore. I don't think she's into it anymore. I think she's more frustrated with it than she is having fun with it.
Right.
And I think that goes to show in her dances. But again, no fault to anybody. It's just the fact she's with a newer partner. The dances, they haven't been given great song choices really any of the weeks.
No.
They're not getting popular or, the big dances, the big songs. So I just think it's a ripple effect, and week after week, I'm over it. Middle of the season, we're starting to get more critical. We got to weed out, the people that are middle of the pack, and I think it's time for her.
Yeah, agreed. I wouldn't be surprised. Andy should go home next week, but at this rate now, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's her over Andy.
I was going to say, I feel like Andy's about to keep going because there are some other people that I'm like, are not as great, and normally it would be their time to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's happening right now. It just goes to show the power of the fan vote, but I'm not happy with it. I need the producers to step in.
Yes, yeah, come on, someone do something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I think next 2 weeks she's going home.
Yeah, agreed.
But who knows? We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Not much to say. What did she get? She got 8s.
Yeah,
I think
8.
that was fair.
Yep.
That was fair scores.
Yep. That's what I would have given it to.
Yep. Not much more. Okay, but let's move on since we're done with that one. Okay, so Danielle and Pasha. Now, Danielle had an Argentine tango. I personally loved the seriousness at the beginning. I loved the passion she had at the beginning. However, the judges love this dance. I don't see it. Something about the way she moved, I feel like she was trying to be more graceful versus aggressive. I would have loved to see her hit the moves a little bit harder. Even like that head move. Like, I needed to see a bam, really tough. It just seemed like they were both like just slow. And honestly, they both just looked like, I don't know how to describe it. I didn't like it. I like it. I like the style of dance for her. I think she looked great serious, but I wrote something about her is off. I would have loved to see an aggressive walk down the floor, the classic tango in frame walk, you know what I'm talking about? With like the foot kicks and all that stuff. I would have loved to see a walk down the floor. I just saw them kind of like lift
just kind of
and
move along, go through the motions.
Move, and like we need to see bang, 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 where I'm constantly like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Right.
So I wasn't sold. Judges were sold, though. They gave her all 9s.
Yeah. I mean, she got some feedback from Carrie Ann last week about all of her dances looking the same, and so they were saying that they wanted this dance to be very different. Was it different? Yes, but she was really trying to convey this serious, sharp, intense persona with the Argentine tango. And I think in turn, she was just robotic.
Yeah.
She just looked out of it to me. I feel like she just goes through the motions rather than selling it. I talked about Jen doing that. I think Danielle has the same issue. And I almost feel like maybe they're just not as comfortable with the choreography. And so they're focusing so hard on just remembering the dance rather than really powering through it. It just lacked growing intensity. They said that like it was just the same intensity throughout. I would have loved to see it get more intense in the second half, sharper, like you said, a little bit more aggressive. I do have to give her credit. It was a difficult dance. I mean, there was all the leg movements. There was kind of that tension. There was the lifts, which she did well with, but she just still feels very constricted to me. And it felt very robotic.
Yes.
I wasn't a big fan. But I will say, you can tell that she's everybody's hype girl because when she goes up to the skybox, everybody is like hugging her and giving her, so much, so many cheers and high fives and everything. And her reaction to the scores was super sweet. She's very open to feedback. And so I was happy to see her get the scores. I just don't think that she deserved it.
No, not at all. I think she's giving like, this sounds bad. It's giving Andy.
Yeah.
But like in the ballroom type of Andy. Like I think everyone in the ballroom loves her. I think the judges love her. I think, like you said, she's everyone's hype woman. Everybody around there, the whole cast loves her. But I just think outside of that, like put that all aside and just look at the dances. It's not it. It's not doing it for me. I also think she could possibly go home in the next few weeks.
Yep, for sure. Between her and Jen and Andy, honestly, those are my bottom 3. That is, that I think that is, that's kind of our group. I hope those are the next 3 to go.
I agree.
Yeah, which sounds bad, but
I'm sorry.
They're just the bottom 3. It's just the truth.
I think I would have honestly predicted if we didn't have so many curveballs with like Lauren and Hilaria and Barron. I think I would have predicted Danielle to go home a lot earlier than this week.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. She must have a lot of fan votes. If
Yeah.
I'm being honest, I don't know what's keeping her
And she's
there.
just very sweet, and so I think people can like connect with her because they just love her personality, and I'm sure a lot of fans from Boy Meets World too. But yeah, she just. Yeah, she's not doing it for me.
Nope.
Love her.
She's
the
great.
dancing is not doing it for me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, let's
Bring us
let's move
home,
on to our
Meghan.
last one. Yep, final dance of the night, and typically that means that it's the most anticipated, and people love that this is one of the final songs in the movie. So I think that's why people were waiting for this dance. I really have to give Jordan kudos. She has grown into such a beautiful dancer, and we're only halfway through the season. This rumba was passionate, it was beautiful, it was graceful, smooth. She honestly, and I really mean this, looks like a pro out there. Her movements are just, look at this lift. I mean, would you call that a lift?
A lift,
yeah, sure.
yeah.
It's beautiful, it's smooth, and she just sells it. It didn't have many tricks or gimmicks, that dance, but I loved that. It was really about the dancing. It was about the passion, and her movements were sharp, they were fluid. it's just quality. The moves are quality moves. But I do agree, could have had maybe just like a little bit more emotion. But I think that was maybe Derek, something that Derek gave as a critique. I think that she is in it to win it. She's proving that. She's clearly working hard every single week to learn the moves and to be able to move that way. And I think that she has done such an amazing job.
I agree. I think that dance was beautiful. I love to see that new side of her, something we haven't really seen all season. I think she crushed that dance. I think her movement was beautiful. She kept it all sharp, but still elegant. And I actually really love that about her.
Right. She's just finished. She just finishes everything. It's not sloppy.
Exactly. Yeah. She's clean. And I think Ezra had great choreography for that dance.
Yes. Kudos to him. He really deserves kudos for his choreography this season. Because 100%. Aside from week 1, which he took that to heart clearly because it wasn't good.
She did too.
Yeah. And since then, every week I've loved.
Yeah. I think she's slowly creeping up to probably our final 3.
Yeah.
In prediction wise, I just think that she continues to prove herself. And I think if she keeps doing what she's doing, she is putting herself, in line for that Mirrorball trophy.
Yeah.
I love the tulips all around the dance floor, by the way.
Yes, that was a beautiful way to end off the night.
Oh my gosh. It was such a great way to end the night. I agree. And I think as much as I critiqued the slower songs of the day, I think that one was the best slow song of the entire night. And honestly, one of the best dances. I mean, she was just beautiful. She is a dancer.
She is. And I think that if that's where she's at now, halfway through the season, I cannot wait to see the caliber of their dances when we get towards the end. I think that they are just going to be, they're going to be finale contenders for sure. I think they're coming for that Mirrorball. And I love their partnership too. I've seen some things about them. I think that it's just kind of Jordan's personality, but people have said like, oh, they don't like each other. But I think they just kind of have like almost a brother-sister relationship. People are not, viewing them as like a couple. They're viewing them as like brother and sister. And I think that that's so sweet.
They even did that in their dance where he like grabbed her long nail and they're like, cute. Like, where most of the times you'd probably like fake a kiss or something. I don't really know. So I love their partnership. I hope Ezra goes far, especially after what he had to go through last season.
And they got 3 10s.
Yes, that deserved 10.
Yeah, it did.
For sure.
It did.
Who gave the 9?
Yeah, I think Derek.
I like how Derek's being a little bit more critical.
Yeah.
It's good. But happy that they got 10s, especially if we're giving out 10s that night. I mean, that was a 10 dance.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think that, I don't know if I would have viewed that as a perfect dance, so I think it was good that they got 1-9 because it was amazing. But usually we don't see those perfect dances until kind of the second half to the end of the season. 100%. So so happy for her. Can't wait to see what they do in the weeks to come. I think that they're in this to win it, like I've said a couple times now. And I also loved their reaction to their scores too.
Yes, Ezra just like falling on the floor.
So happy.
It was so cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's go over, you start, top 3 dances.
Yep. All right, top 3 dances of the night. Okay, let me remember what I was saying. I know Elaine was for sure one of them. Elaine and Alan was, there they are. Absolutely crushed it. I believe I said Robert and Whitney then would be my next, or they might be my third. My next one would be Jordan and Ezra. Yep, that's it. And then also Robert and Whitney. Okay, so there's my Elaine, Robert, and Jordan. Okay. That's my final 3, top 3 dances of the night because I think Elaine showed up and showed out. I think Robert's dance had so much creativity, executed well, and I think Jordan's dance was just that perfect. Tie the bow on top. I think all 3 of the dances encapsulated Wicked Night beautifully.
Yes.
And that's why those are my top 3.
Absolutely. I honestly think I actually had the exact same
really?
Top 3. Actually, no. I
was going to throw Whitney in there. But
yeah, I actually did not pick Robert Whitney. I picked Mark and Whitney.
Okay.
Simply because I know Whitney has gotten a lot of critiques, but I just really feel like this dance had a lot of dance content in it, and she executed it amazingly. There are some things that I'm a little critical about with Whitney, but I mean, she just is amazing. I have to give it to her. Like, the dances are incredible. I also picked Elaine and Alan. Loved that dance. I think that was actually my top favorite of the night.
Yeah.
And because of the reasons that you said, I had so much emotion. It was the only dance of the night that made me tear up. And then I also picked Jordan and Ezra because it was a perfect way to end off the night. We just talked about them with all of, just her looking like a dancer and just really selling it. And then close fourth would be Alex and Val. And that is how the leaderboard went. Whitney and Mark at the top of the leaderboard. and then Jordan and Ezra.
Okay.
Robert and Whitney were in third, and then Alex and Val. So I think that is, I really think
fair.
that top four is going to be, I think that's going to be our top four in the finale. Do they do 4 or 5? Because I feel like last year they did 5 in the finale.
They did 5, which was weird. They
Yeah.
normally do 3.
Right.
But they change the rules all the time.
Yes,
I
yeah.
don't really know
yeah,
why,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that's okay.
So getting that third spot in the finale is going to be close, but I think that is those are our top 4.
Very tight. And I love how each week our favorite dance of the night, it's been different people, I feel like. I mean, this week was Elaine. Last week was probably Dylan was one of the favorites. I mean, Robert and Whitney are constant favorites, but we've had Alex in there. I mean, we've had different people every
Yeah.
week. So I love this season. I think it's an amazing season.
Yes.
And this night, I think, was the turning point in the season. Okay, we're done with the fun and games.
Right.
Now, like,
Get down
this
to
is
business.
serious and like, you got to be the real deal if you want to keep moving on. Unless you're Andy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly. And the judges have been talking about, so they set another new voting record last night, 100 million votes over the last 2 weeks because there was no elimination, so it was combined scores
Insane.
last night.
Insane.
Crazy,
I can't
crazy.
believe
100
it.
million votes. It's like hard to picture that many people voting. But it just shows you that this is one of the best seasons that they have had in a long time. People are watching and the caliber of the competition is so high. So I just can't wait for the second half because I think that the bar is just going to continue to be, it's just going to continue to go up and up and up, and people are going to, everybody's going to have to keep doing things that make them stand out if they want to win that mirror ball. So I am so excited. And on my other note, Lauren and Brandon should still be dancing. I wish they were still here.
I'm so mad.
Yeah.
But next week is one of my favorite weeks of the entire season. It has
Halloween
been throughout
night.
Halloween night.
Yes.
I love to see the costumes. I'm eager to see what everybody does. Everybody really gets to get creative this week, and I think it's going to be a huge pivotal week.
It is, yes. We're going to see a lot of frights and scares and different things.
Yes,
and yeah,
spooky
I can't wait.
season.
Yeah, spooky season. And we get it before Halloween too, which is like so much fun.
I love it. I love it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a whole lot more to recap. But as always, we love doing this every single week. So thank you all for watching. We're having so much fun.
Yes, yes. We're super excited for next week. So you can always watch wherever you're watching. We thank you for watching. Share this with friends and family if they watch Dancing with the Stars too, because we want to know if you share our opinions. If you have different opinions, reach out to us. We always want to hear from you. But yeah, thank you for watching our Week 6 recap, and we'll see you back here for Week 7, Halloween night.